Bismillahi walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Welcome to the show. Subhanallah. This is Call to Guidance, the show that speaks about everything and anything regarding da'wah and community development. So this is our first show after Ramadan of 2024 had ended. Subhanallah, we really had, I can say, a very beautiful Ramadan. Even though many of us are crying that it was short, but it was really, I can say, progressive. Many of us, inshallah, try to make the best of it, inshallah. However, now we move on with our show that focuses on the daily situations in our country of South Africa. Now, just a reminder, we showcase Dawa movements, Dawa programs, and Dawa establishments in places where no one has actually gone and to showcase and see what's happening in those areas. So tonight we'll be focusing on Masjid Al-Falah, which is based in Hillbrow, or you can say Hillbrow or Braamfontein. And this masjid there is actually run by Sheikh Issa and his son, a friend of mine, brother Aubrey Feyzil Tshabalala. So we'll be speaking about the programs that they have in the area and how they are actually being effective in the push for dawah, and what other programs they provide also for the community at large, and inshallah what also us as the Muslim community can do to try and assist to magnify their work, inshallah ta'ala. So with no waste of time, inshallah, we'll just present our guest tonight. So, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to the show.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Jazakumullah khaira for both of you to being part of the show today. It's a very big honor, I can say, on my side, because to speak about dawah, this is our passion. But what best way can we actually express the love of dawah than taking people who are in the work, or spending their lives working for the sake of Allah, and just to magnify the work that they are doing, which people do not see, and people may deem to be easy, but it's not, inshallah. So I think before we can go forward, we have actually Brother Aubrey is very well, I can versed in the Quran. He wanted to read some few words of the Quran for us, inshallah ta'ala. So a short qiraat, inshallah, if you can just bless us with that, inshallah.
All right, no problem. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم. يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك. كلا بل تكذبون بالدين وإن عليكم لحافظين كراما كاتبين كاتبين يعلمون ما تفعلون وإن الأبرار لفي نعيم وإن الفجار لفي جحيم يصلونها يوم الدين وما هم عنها بغائبين وما أدريك ما يوم الدين ثم ما أدريك ما يوم الدين يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, through the beautiful recitation, grant us love and more understanding of the Quran, subhanallah. Now, going back to speaking about Masjid Al-Falah, subhanallah, obviously people would want to know the original story in terms of how it started. And as we spoke before this, that Sheikh Issa actually has been in the work for about 30 years, subhanallah. Now, Sheikh Issa, inshallah, if you can just take us through what inspired to start the masjid in Hillbrow in that situation, regarding now as a movement of dawah for deen, and also together as a platform which can be looked at as a community structure, inshallah.
Okay, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, to go through to the beginning, all this started with one of our later sister, Miriam Modi. She's a converted Islam Muslim, original from Wheatbank. When most of the African people, after the liberation of the country, most African people ran forward South African, because all of us who heard a story about South African is a beautiful country, South Africa, good country, but black people were under the regime of apartheid. So all of us there, we were like having that intention that no, one day I want to be a South African and see how our black people were living, our brothers. So in that movement, many people from all over the world were coming, especially African, moved towards South Africa. And then this movement of Islam, most of the people were Muslims. And then they start having a small masjid, a small Jamaat Khana, left and right. And the way our sister Miriam, our later sister Miriam Modi, may Allah forgive her where she is now, got interacted to Islam. And when she converted to Islam, and then she got married to one of our friends, that friend was from Mali. He got married, and then she was like being happy as a Muslim. And then the government in that time wanted to empower black people. When black people, especially those who were coming out of prison. So Sister Miriam Modi, may Allah forgive her, was given a building whereby it was like a house called for people who were coming out of prison. For example, those who were in parole. So they needed skills. So that's why Sister Miriam Modi, may Allah forgive her, was given that building. in 2002. Actually, the building started in 2001. 2002, they go to Sister Modi. As a Muslim, she wanted Muslim brothers to come to surround her, to help her uplift the community. That's how we came in. When we came in, it was in 2002. So we came in trying to help her. As there were many projects in that area. That building is situated in number 30 Court Street in Hillbrow, just in a diagonal with Constitutional Court, next to the government mortuary, actually. So that building were given to Sister Miriam Modi. Sister Miriam Modi called us, and then we start interacting because there were some projects for ex-prisoners, like carpentry, sewing, welding, computer skills. So we were there to help some people, those who come who doesn't even have the skills, to know something, and then they could be useful in life. By then, and we start to know, we as a Muslim, let us bring something like to help people in their faith. So we first Sister Modi called different Muslim brothers and sisters. So all of them, they come, we make that organization called African Social Community Center. What we're looking for, because that time the crime in South Africa was very high, especially in Hillbrow, you cannot pass 1 or 2 days without having a dead body around, gunshot around, whatever. So our idea, it was like, let us change the image as we're at the age of the area called Braamfontein, and then you're at the edge of Hillbrow. So it shows like we are the mirror of Hillbrow. Let us change this Hillbrow community from bad to the better way. What can we do? Let's go to the root, let's to the ground. Those people, those poor people, there were too much poor people there. We start interacting with them and then calling them towards Islam. So what make us achieve some of the things that time, it was to give a cheap accommodation, because the building had rooms. It was an hospital before, from coming from Afrox building, Afrox organization. So by then, we try to give them food. We call, we go around from our brother Muslim. They can give us in a bakery. They can give us bread. They can give us food. Yeah, and then we start giving people food. So it started attracting people, and by then we give them the dawah. We give them dawah. It grows like that. Somewhere, somehow, we had some problem, financial problem, whatever, because we didn't have a fund, a proper fund. So in that area, we had a wall. It was a laboratory wall by then, because the building was in a hospital. So that laboratory faced Qibla. So some of our brother, especially I can mention the name of Moulana Qasim, who was like closer to that movement. We were together. He showed that this building, this wall, face Qibla. Why can't you make it in Masjid? And then we go down, and then we realized that no, it's first Qibla, let's make it a Masjid. Since 2002, that Masjid exists today. That's why they call Al-Falah Masjid. That's the beginning.
Subhanallah. Subhanallah. It is always amazing to listen to such, not stories, but rather records of what happened in order to bring such an establishment from scratch. But at the same time, obviously, we know that it takes a lot. Like Sheikh Issa mentioned that at some point there were no funds. Then we have to rely now on donations, have to rely on people coming in and trying to assist where they can. And obviously, today, nothing works without the funds. So people do need funds in order to run any type of structure and organization. Now, in terms of besides the feeding scheme, I wanted to also now get into details of what other daily programs can people find in the masjid itself. We'll speak about the dawah a bit later, inshallah. But now I just wanted to focus on the outlining programs regarding the masjid itself. So, inshallah, if you can take it, Sheikh Brother Aubrey, in terms of what other programs besides the feeding scheme are taking place daily at the masjid, inshallah.
All right, Jazakallah. Just to add up on what Sheikh Issa said, when the Masjid Al-Falah commenced, we were I think we were the first generation to start the madrasa inside the masjid. I still recall one of our beloved Sheikh, his name is Sheikh Juma from Tanzania. He's now situated in Mpumalanga. So I still recollect the day I couldn't even make azan. I couldn't even pronounce Arabic terms. I couldn't even. So it was me and my family and other community young stars, girls and boys. We were the first generation to start madrasa in Masjid Al-Falah, and Alhamdulillah, the fruits has shown itself. And not to toot my own horn, and I'm just one of the examples and one of the fruits from that Masjid Al-Falah. So the activities that takes place is we have madrasas both for old, meaning elderly people, and young children, young Muslim children, and we also have a crèche that is accommodating both Muslims and non-Muslims. And our paramount goal or objective is to give dawah, as Sheikh Issa mentioned. And we also encounter a lot of non-Muslims, for a lack of a better term. I would like to call them street dwellers. A lot of them, they come to our masjid and they want to seek dawah. They see the work that we're doing around the Masjid Al-Falah. They accept Islam. However, due to lack of funds and lack of activities that we would like to do in future, because we have a lot of programs in the pipeline that we would like to do as Masjid Al-Falah. Due to the lack of funds, we do not have those much activities. So those street dwellers who come to our masjid, we give them food, we give them dawah. However, they turn back to their old characters and their old activities. So it's a bit of a scuffle for us. I don't know if I made my point across.
No, 100% understandable. I think it is always a situation when dealing with people who have been in substance abuse, that we always have to find some sort of medical also assistance, because I know there's many rehabilitation centers that do assist with that. There was one a while ago, inshallah. We just have to look back into it. It was based in Crosby. I don't know if they're still around or what happened, but they were under, I think, if not, it was Darul Ihsan. So inshallah, I'll just check for more information if they're still around. Subhanallah, they were doing very good work. Among their programs was the spiritual rehabilitation, in terms of inculcating dawah, reading Quran, learning the Quran, etc. So mashallah, the work that you guys are doing also, subhanallah, it's commendable. Again, like I mentioned before, it's not easy, especially when facing situations such as financial restrictions, and more so when dealing with a community whereby people depend on that, like with the feeding scheme. Some people you find, I think you also mentioned to us that some people you find that that's the only meal they'll be getting in a day, so they depend on it. So if the meal is not there, so it's like you're actually starving the community, subhanallah. Now, inshallah, back to Sheikh Issa. In terms of now, remember now we're speaking about the foundation of the masjid itself. Now, what are the other ways in terms of now when you're looking at the foundation of the masjid, Sheikh Issa? How has it been to establish yourself now from the time you said from 2002 until now? What are the main challenges that you can express to us which you faced? And what are the challenges that are still there besides the financial restriction one, inshallah?
Okay, Alhamdulillah. We have a lot of challenges throughout the line. To mention a few, it's like I want us to go back way Aubrey Feyzil didn't mention properly, because he's a part of that that growth of that family, some certain family. Besides being a Muslim, we send them to madrasa. There are some of them. There, one of them I can call the name Ismail, is in Turkey today, and then next year is will be a alim. That is the work of Feyzil. Yeah, and that family is a Muslim family. We've got a lot of family Muslim around us. Parents are not Muslim. Due to our work, they made their children to come to us. We send them to madrasa, in Azadville, wherever, and then they become a good Muslim. Because the example, especially expected from my family, it shows like when I brought my family here, they went to madrasa, they become a good person. So that's why other parents, they say, no, 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 let us follow the example of Papa Issa. That's why some of the parents today, they are very, very happy. Their children are very responsible children. They can be the girls and the boys. So other challenges you're having, Alhamdulillah, some people used to come here and there and help us with food parcels, food groceries. As we are doing this feeding scheme for years now. We started with a lot of brothers. Some of the brothers they are not there, others are still there. So they always come and help us grocery whatever. I cannot mention all of them here, but just ask Allah to accept their work to help us. So other challenge has to say that there's some people or some children, those who are involved in the drugs. Okay, when we talk to them about dawah, they come straight. So now after that, we cannot just hold them because we've got nothing to do to help them for them to sustain to be sustained on their own. So that's how most of the time I always cry to people that why but people can make a workshop whereby you can train our boys around here, our men, even when we are making feeding scheme, people they look for the job. What can you provide to them? So if we have people who can work at workshop, we train some few people in doing something, carpentry, sewing, what's called electricity, those basics. Somebody can be sustained, can be sustained on his own. And people just know, yes, it's not only to give them food, to give them dawah, but we have to empower them, whereby they can take care of themselves, they can take care of their families. Those are many challenges we're having now. So to get people we can convince, it's only few people they are willing to come, but they never come yet to help us to help us people to help us. If we can help other people, they can be but they can sustain on their own. So to give them food is fine, it's good, they can get food, but that's not enough. We have to empower them. That's one of our goal. We need to reach that stage whereby we can get a group of people and then we send them somewhere. They can train them in a mechanic, in any field of life where they can be useful to life. So it will come back to us. It will come back to us as this is the result of what we are doing.
No, 100%, 100%. I think we all agree on that point, Sheikh Issa, that instead of just looking at feeding and giving out handouts, etc., we need to look at skills which are very needed, especially in this day and time, because we understand one problem we're facing is the situation of unemployment rate, which is very high and went up at the end of last year. At the same time, then we find that most of the people who are again back in the point of drug abuse, who are stuck in the vacuum of the drug abuse, are the youngsters, the youth, between the ages of sometimes can go down to even 15 or 16 until 35. And in that bracket, there's many of them who are suffering because they don't have jobs, they don't have anything to do. So there are many, inshallah, organizations who can actually assist on that regard, inshallah. So, inshallah, for those who are watching and have enough information, inshallah, can get hold of us, inshallah, in terms of trying to set up a workshop, inshallah, on that point. Now, on that point, inshallah, Brother Aubrey, I think you also have something to add in terms of workshops, what can be sustainable for the youngsters, inshallah.
Hence, I mentioned that such activities are in the pipeline rather of what you call the skills development, job empowerment, and so on and so forth. The area of where Masjid Al-Falah is situated, the surrounding is pretty much very, very, very bad. You get a lot of street dwellers who are just roaming around, and just like my father said, the masjid is literally adjacent to the Constitutional Hill Court, and also a few feet down, I think maybe 10 feet if you go down, there's a human rights court. So I mean, all those people are not even aware of what is happening on the ground, and we are on the ground and we are seeing whatever is going on. As much as we try and invite them to dawah, they do accept it. However, we do not have much skills to to impose, or rather to empower them. So they always go back to their old folds. So I mean, if there's any opportunity that will be granted to them, they'll accept it with all with both their hands, and do due diligence, if I can put it that way.
No, most definitely, inshallah. So we really need to come together on this point. I think this is one of those causes that Islam always strives for, in serving humankind, serving humanity, and bringing in programs which are very useful and sustainable. Most important, I mean, our youth is really facing a lot of situations and problems, and if we can alleviate those problems, subhanallah. Just remind me, as you're speaking, one hadith that Nabi Karim Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam mentioned, that if you were to remove a hardship from a Muslim person, or any person rather, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make it easy for you to attain Jannah. So I think all of us, inshallah, we are hoping, inshallah, to attain Jannah, but these are pointers which can actually come into our, support, inshallah, on the day of Qiyamah, so that we can attain the higher stages, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so right now, inshallah, we'll be taking a break. Thereafter, when we come back, we'll talk more about the Dawah movement in the area, and what other things that we can also try and put in place, inshallah, so that we can have a very effective, and I can say not just effective, but rather a strong point of us actually getting to be heard by the people around us, getting to be as I can say, people who will live what they speak about, because again, we always like to remind people that Islam is more about doing, rather than just speaking. We can have a lot of bayans, a lot of talks, but once we do not have action, then we're actually losing ourselves. So inshallah, we need to really help each other. And also, again, for those who are listening who have any way or any plan of how this can be done, so inshallah, we need to come together, inshallah, and derive something where people can benefit from. Subhanallah, we've seen many countries, inshallah, they actually started taking matters into their own hands. You look at what's happening also in Rwanda, they started changing themselves after they faced the atrocities in 1994. They came back and said, you know what, we've suffered 30 years ago, time has gone, so now let's do something different. You see what's happening in other countries also, where the youngsters are taking up responsibilities into changing the situations, and so this is where, inshallah, we need to start. Again, we applaud anyone who is available to come forward and assist with any plans, any workshops that we can have. We do have also in the pipelines on our side programs whereby we will be trying to benefit the youth, and more so in the spirit of dawah and the spirit of education, to teach people more and sustain, as Sheikh Issa spoke about, skills such as plumbing, such as welding, basic electrical, etc. Skills which are needed, and a person doesn't need to work for anyone else, can start their own practice, inshallah ta'ala. So we're just trying to fix our system quickly, facing some technical issues. Before we go, inshallah, so now we spoke about the feeding scheme, and Sheikh Issa also mentioned in terms of some parts it becomes difficult to sustain that. Now, do we have any plans going forward in terms of doing that, or are there any we can say subsidized programs we can try and get hold of which can assist in this regard, inshallah?
Yeah, we always we are open to anyone who can come and then assist us in any things, because people speaking from far, they won't understand. People must come closer to Hillbrow. They must come closer to us, and then they'll see the reality of what we are doing. That's what I'm asking for.
All right. No, inshallah. So let's take a break quickly, inshallah. And when we return, we'll go deeper into the discussion. I think people are really interested in this. And for those who are able to, inshallah, we'll come forward and assist for the sake of Allah, inshallah. Ta'ala. Let's take a break.
Fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
Send food and send kindness to those who have lost their homes and have been plunged into poverty. For those who are a meal away from starvation, a food parcel means an entire family can eat this Ramadan. That's the power of food. Donate now to Islamic Relief.
There's no smell that takes me back to the comfort of my childhood than the smell of black seed oil being applied by my nani. Now I'm using Tib black seed in my own home to soothe sniffles and coughs, to help with digestion and immunity, and of course, as part of my beauty routine. After all these years, I've come to appreciate the wisdom in finding comfort and shifa in trusted treatments like Tib black seed. You can find Tib black seed at all leading pharmacies or find out more at blackseed.co.za.
You know, it's a wonder how kids get anything done these days. With all the distractions, when do they even get time to study? As a mother, all I can really do is make sure they have all they need to perform at their best. That's why I choose to include Sunfoil, triple refined pure sunflower oil with every meal I make. Naturally cholesterol-free and approved by the Heart and Stroke Foundation as part of a balanced eating plan. So whether I'm cooking, frying or baking, I know every dish will be a wholesome one. Sunfoil, now we're cooking.
When the perfect blend of stylish decor, exquisite halal cuisine, and warm hospitality come together, it could only mean Al Bayt Lodge, your true home away from home. Al Bayt is the ideal heaven for families, business people, and tourists with its 4-star family rooms and other luxurious facilities, conveniently situated close to Port Elizabeth Airport, the beach, and other amenities. Your stay will be truly unforgettable, as you'll be taking home lasting memories of the warm hospitality, the serenity and tranquility that Al Bayt has to offer. For reservations, call 041 583 6415 or visit www.albaytlodge.co.za.
The Muslim Ummah asked, and by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Emergivac Sharia has delivered. Muslim families in South Africa can now enjoy up to 575,000 Rand emergency medical cover at a private hospital for all in-hospital expenses arising from an accident or illness. Plus, you receive 24-hour access to private ambulance evacuation, 24-hour armed response services, roadside, home, and even appliance assistance services. Simply download the Emergivac app and register online or SMS Sharia to 40777. Emergivac Sharia, for when serious emergencies require seriously fast response.
Breaking stereotypes, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. Humanity sets the agenda.
Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Welcome back. Subhanallah, if you're just joining us, well, you didn't miss the first half of tonight's show where we're speaking about Masjid Al-Falah, which is based in Hillbrow, which has been there for a while, since 2002, run and actually being co-founded by Sheikh Issa, and one of his graduates is here with us, brother Aubrey Feyzil Tshabalala, to speak about the developments of the program and what other programs they have in store for the community at large. So before we went to the break, we spoke about such programs which we need to put in place for the youth, especially those who are facing issues with drug abuse or substance abuse rather, and how we can actually bring about some sustainable programs for them so that inshallah they can actually be useful for themselves, most importantly, and also for the society. Now, dealing back into the issue of da'wah again, Sheikh Issa, is programs which you have at the masjid daily. Do you have any type of programs of like street da'wah or active da'wah programs that happen that people who are interested in giving da'wah can come through and be part of it, inshallah?
Alhamdulillah, we have that program already for some years now. We always on our madrasa, especially for ladies, is where there's too much progress, because men, most of them, they always shift. When we start with them, they work of dawah, and then they shift, they move, they went to another places. So we are losing them. So women, alhamdulillah, I can say we have 72 women who are attending our madrasa in Al-Falah Masjid every Saturday and Sunday. We have qualifier uppers who are teaching them. And then from our feeding scheme program, we got almost 5 people who stick to Islam. They can read Quran today. Yeah, they are good Muslim today. Yeah, because from the feeding scheme, we give them dawah. They understand Islam and then they stick on Islam, and they are there. They are good Muslim. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah to give us this strength and the opportunity whereby we can carry on from there. Yeah, there are many sphere where we can enter. For example, when people are coming for feeding seafood to get food, I always tell them about Islam. I always show them our character, our Muslim good character. Show them, and by them they can be attracted. By attracted, they can be Christian, whatever, and then I can try to talk to them about the Bible, about the Islam and the Christian debate. Sometimes I used to make a debate openly there with the Christian brothers. Those who are coming to fetch food, and then they're becoming Muslim. Some of them they are Muslim already. So on that sphere, we are very established, well established on that.
Subhanallah. Now, and it is a wonder that most of the times we find the women are the ones who actually do stick to the deen, and subhanallah, and they are the cause of many of our brothers and sisters turning back into deen, because as mothers, then they encourage their children to revert back, and alhamdulillah. And subhanallah, without even speaking far about some of your graduates, we have our Sheikh Aubrey Feyzil, who subhanallah started the show with a beautiful rendition of the Quran. And you can just see how much work has been put in the program, subhanallah. Now this is to you, my brother Faisal. Now, in terms of the madrasa itself, what other programs besides the teaching, etc., are there that can be useful for the youngsters to be part of? Like, for example, are there any plans for having such things as like your camping or hiking programs, just to bring about that sense of unity in them and sense of belonging? Because I think one of the things is that when a youngster becomes Muslim, they feel that they are now discarded from the communities outside where they were before, because they find that their friends used to go to certain places, have fun, however they translate their fun. But when they come to Deen, then they'll cry about how Deen is so strict. So what can we do now in order, in not just in Hillbrow, but in other areas, in order to take care of our youngsters, especially when it comes to being part of a community, inshallah?
So talking about the community, like the Masjid Al-Falah in Hillbrow, it is the most known masjid. You understand? Because it's one of the oldest in the surrounding areas, like your Beria, your Yeovil, and as you go to town. So all these communities I've just mentioned, I'm talking from experience, because most of these youngsters and most of these people my age, I grew up with. We grew up together. We went to school together. Unfortunately, this is a very unfortunate side of it. They have indulged themselves into different activities which are very bad. Because and the main reason is because I don't know if it's gonna be the right way to say it. The father is different, or it's only the child is only being looked after the mother, and the mother also she's indulged into her own growth and doesn't take care of the child. So all these things that are happening, like bad things that are happening in the community, we've spoken as Masjid Al-Falah to say, if only we can be supported and given funds in our pipeline. We want to do all these activities, because young children, they have adrenaline, they have a lot of, and it will be much better if we can channel this energy in a positive way, in a good manner, whereby we make programs, activities like going for hiking and all that, and all these activities and their energy can be channeled and can be controlled in those manners. You understand?
100%. No, 100%. I think many communities are facing the same situation, whereby, again, speaking about how they end up in substance abuse, maybe hanging with friends who are busy with other things. And we all understand also the crime rate, which have risen. Subhanallah. So recently we were also working hand in hand with a Dawa program, or rather very young organization based in El Dorado Park. And these are also the same things that they voice out, that because the youngsters are not kept busy with anything which is sustainable, programs which can make them feel useful for the community, they end up going into walks of life of gangsterism, substance abuse, and other things, which either they end up in jail or dead. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our children and grant us the ability to make it easy for them to enjoy deen. Subhanallah. I think one of the things that I always preach to my students is that, Islam is easy. We are the ones who just make it difficult. Subhanallah. We can have what certain people term it as halal fun. Again, can go for camp, we can go for hiking, we can have a bride together, we can have a night out playing soccer, whatever it may be. But everything must be centered around the worship and ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As long as that's there, then alhamdulillah it becomes a big progress. Speaking on that also, I'm also part of one group called the Deen Team. So on Saturday night, we have one program in terms of Indonesia, where we invite youngsters to come in. Soccer is going to be there. Some are going to be playing FIFA just for fun. Some are going to play volleyball and other games. So these are the type of environments they create so that the learners can say we have a safe haven to come on weekends and not go to other places which are bad. So inshallah, I think going forward, we can look into that also, see how we can. And I believe that there are many people who are ready to sponsor such things, such initiatives. So inshallah, we also need to get through many people, start with the movement, then inshallah the rest will come together for the sake of Allah. Now, again, speaking about the madrasa, I think that's another thing Sheikh Issa also mentioned. The madrasa also is a very important aspect of our deen, especially the maktab for the youngsters, for the kids in the afternoons. Now, how, Sheikh Issa, if you can just tell us, inshallah, the number of the children who are in the madrasa and how much in terms of availability of the teachers, etc., and what can or what's needed to make it more easier, inshallah, going forward.
Yeah, alhamdulillah. Yeah, in terms of the madrasa for the young children, we have it, but we had a problem of these children when they come from school. They like to play, whatever, but we try our best. Most of the time, our imam, who's in charge of that madrasa, to put something there, like some biscuit, whatever, to attract us. After madrasa, we are going to get chips, whatever. We always provide that. Normally, we have we registered 32 children for this year, but only 18 who are coming regularly. So besides, like last year, we sent out almost 80 children in the big madrasa. After being in our madrasa, we send them. We got a connection with the Azadville madrasa, where we always send them. Alhamdulillah. That's the part. And then there's another part of another program I'm making. I'm doing it myself. Is a counseling. So that counseling, like as we say, that those people who are substance abused. So we always sometimes I always call them aside, sit with them, discuss with them, try to understand their way, how they come up to that life. Sometimes it's difficult. I've got a connection of some counselors, some social workers. They can come in, and then we try to see how can we help them. We try sometimes last year, but this year they never come up good. But we try at least to bring them together, to give them dawah, and to make them understand that this life we are doing is not a good life. You'll end up in a very serious problem tomorrow. But if you leave, whatever, because we start with those who are injecting themselves. We make a category: those who are injecting themselves, and then those who are using normal drugs. So we have those who do injection, those who are making injection for themselves. We call them. We call 3 of them, because one of them is one brother, part of our Muslim community, and then we try to counsel him. At least he's becoming a little bit better, but not 100%. So we are trying other people also, those who are around us. We try to counsel them, whereby they can become a good people. If the other program comes where we can get found of make them to be sustained on their own, it will be very, very good program for us. May I believe on that?
Subhanallah. This is interesting because, again, Sheikh Issa, part of rehabilitation is trying to get people to get through that situation, but more so helping them spiritually also does help most of the times, because some of them just issue of alignment, not knowing how their life is aligned to the deen or anything else which in terms of faith. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easier on there also. I think this is one of the biggest fights that we're all facing in South Africa, of drug abuse, and it's really subhanallah getting ridiculously out of hand. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assist us in fighting against this. And for those also who are in such positions of assisting with specialized counseling programs, inshallah, do come through, inshallah, and assist in this regard, because we do have a lot of people that need this help of counseling, etc. And it's not only those who are poor, also those who have money. Unfortunately, it's happening now that in order to pacify themselves and entertain themselves, they're ending up going to drug abuse as well. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make that inshallah easy for us and to understand the essence of deen, inshallah ta'ala. Now, in terms of the ODL, now remember, now we're speaking about problems, we spoke about the challenges, we spoke about inshallah having hopes and goals for the near future, inshallah, with Brother Aubrey also, plans in the pipeline, needing assistance for those who can, inshallah. Now, inshallah, for people who want to get hold of you, Sheikh Issa, and the masjid itself, where do they go? What's the address and the contact details, inshallah?
Okay, to find us is very easy. We are in Kote Street, number 30, Kote Street, Corner Hospital. We are just in a diagonal with Constitutional Court, next to the government mortuary. Yeah, it's where we are situated. And then my number, my number is 073-228-2111. Yeah, I'm available at any time in WhatsApp. Anyone can contact me, and then we always tell people to welcome them. They can come and then view the place and then see whatever we are doing here, and then they can play their part also, because everything we are doing here is only a pass by. We are passing by, and we have to leave a mark that no, somebody passed here and then left his mark. This is a mark. Like our sister Miriam, may Allah forgive her where she is. And she's the one who started this project, but she's no more. And then we are carrying on. So it is a very good legacy to her. So with other brother also, those who pass away, because many of them, when we start this project, they are not there. Only few remain there. Sometimes we contact with them. Sometimes we ask advice from them. But they always come, when they come to see us, they always feel happy that no, this place, we left it to you. You keep it very, very well, alhamdulillah. They are very, very happy. And then we carry on with the work of dawah. We carry on with the work of feeding scheme. We carry on with the work of counseling, and all these things we have to mention here now. We are not gonna get hurt. We're not gonna get a pension, whatever, because other people, they think that no, as you keep becoming old, you can't do the good things. No, the good thing until you go to the grave. So because everything we are doing now, it's going to pass. It's going to pass. We are going to pass ourselves. Everything gonna pass. So it's ourselves. We have to do the right things for our tomorrow. Whenever we go to our grave, we know that no, alhamdulillah, we did something good.
No, inshallah. And from your side, Brother Aubrey, in terms of any other projects, inshallah, that people are willing to try and bring into the area, and they need to interact more with the youth, how can they get hold of you? And is there any other social media platforms that they can also find Al-Falah, or besides Al-Falah yourself and the people who are playing the roles of leadership in the area, inshallah?
In terms of where they can find us, we have a Facebook page, Masjid Al-Falah. They can always contact my dad, as he has placed his numbers there. And yeah, we have a Facebook page that they can see all our activities that is being done in the community and the activities that we are doing there. And also, I just wanted to touch on a small thing that we are doing there. So we're having a difficulties with the funds for the muazzin and the imam, and the feeding scheme that we are talking about. I remember yesterday when we were there, we were feeding people. Our okay, the food that we cooked was less than the people who were there. So some of the people, because we have grandparents, old ladies who are there, old men who are there. They come for the feeding scheme. So we were in shortage of food because we only like cooked one big pot. We thought it was gonna be for everybody. And the person who's cooking this is my mother. She's old, alhamdulillah, but she wakes up very early in the morning. She cooks for the crèche and for the feeding scheme every after Zuhur Salah. And also that is one of the difficulties we are facing, because there are sisters who do come and help assist her to cook. Now it's only my father who helps her, carrying the pots, cutting onions and tomatoes and all that. And the ladies who are assisting us, be due to lack of funds, just to give them something, thank you for your support. They have pulled out, you understand. But our paramount intention, our objective is for the sake of Allah, and is for not for human beings. So my father is there, my mother is there, and both of them sometimes I also come there and we assist, and we do it ourselves. You understand?
Most definitely. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the amazing work that you're doing. Subhanallah. It is one of those heartfelt situations whereby you know that there's a lot of potential that you can reach, but because of certain circumstances, unfortunately, we can't reach there. But alhamdulillah, for that little that we have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making it actually go far and wide. Once again, for those people who are interested in assisting, so the numbers are for Sheikh Issa 073 2282 111. And for Brother Aubrey Feyzil, it's 067 760 5381. And this is based in Braamfontein side, Masjid Al-Falah. Also, they have a Facebook page. For any other information, you can contact them directly, inshallah ta'ala. Then we can see how we can sustain our communities going forward, inshallah ta'ala. Once again, jazakumullah khair to both of you for being a part of the show and letting us through. Many people can say that they've always seen the masjid, but they've never walked through, they've never actually learned more about it. But alhamdulillah, today you have actually quenched our thirst of knowledge in terms of knowing more about what's happening in the area. So for those people who are around the area, can be happy to go and assist wherever they can. Jazakumullah khaira once again, Sheikh Issa, for giving us some of your time, and also Brother Qari Feyzil, Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take you all from strength to strength and make this program very progressive, inshallah, for the near future. Jazakumullah khairan. So, inshallah, I think Qarisa wants to end also with the last recitation before we go, inshallah ta'ala. Jazakumullah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولله ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء قدير. إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار إن في خلق السماوات والأرض واختلاف الليل والنهار لآيات لأولي الألباب الذين يذكرون الله قياما وقعودا وعلى جنوبهم ويتفكرون في خلق السماوات والأرض ربنا ما خلقت هذا باطلا سبحانك فقنا عذاب النار ربنا إنك من تدخل النار فقد أخزيته وما للظالمين من أنصار ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا وآتنا ما وعدتنا على رسلك ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة ولا تخزنا يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد صدق الله العظيم.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept and grant you the amazing nur of Quran so that it can also affect others close to you, inshallah, and all of us, inshallah. I mean, Jazakumullah khairah once again. It was a beautiful program, and we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all the programs and all the efforts from your side. I mean, Jazakumullah khairah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. So that brings us to the end of our show tonight. Subhanallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our feeble actions and our feeble efforts. And again, just a reminder, it's a Thursday evening. Remember, it is a night where we need to put ourselves in preparations of a Jumu'ah with a lot of recitation of the durood upon the Nabi of Allah salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in, and reading of our Surah Al-Kahf, inshallah ta'ala, for protection against the corrupt system of Dajjal and Dajjal himself as the greatest fitna which will come in the end of time, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our small actions, our small efforts, inshallah ta'ala. Until we meet again next week on Thursday from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. This is Call to Guidance with Yunus Kawanga. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.